controllers, homie. Even the cages in the hood couldn't hold us, homie. Animal. The left trigger got them focused on the send off. Soon as they trigger the right button, then we pick up.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, Harold coffee and cake then. My God, my God, my God. When you say when it rains, it pours. I think the Xbox division right now, they got it worse than Job in the Bible. Look, seriously. Listen, I don't know what's going on down. You know what? I do know what's going on. For those of you guys that are new to this channel, shout out to you, right? If you've been here for a while, a lot of you have. I was doing a show with David Jaffe. And you don't know what David Jaffe is? He is the creator, director of this very powerful man right here, the best game in the world. If you don't know, God of War is my favorite game. David Jaffe. Did a couple shows with him, right? And people make this much to do over Microsoft buying these new studios, and he brought up a very valid point. He said, you know what? Next gen, not so much of them hiring studios. Microsoft does a horrible job at managing. We all saw the debacle at the Xbox showcase. We got my man right here. What's my man's name? He's gonna star in the Avengers game. This is Microsoft DLC for the Avengers, Marvel Avengers. Craig. They named him Craig, right? You've seen the memes. And I'm gonna say this, right? When they first showed the game, and they said it was running on a $12,000 PC with the specs of the Xbox Series X. Had you not told me that was running an Xbox Series S or an X, I'd have been none the wiser. It didn't scream or look next generation. And I think people had this expectation. You got 12 teraflops of power, 12 T-bags of power, right? And you got games that are running on 1.3 or 1.3 or 1.8 hardware that looks visually, aesthetically, I'm not talking about fun factor and gameplay, I'm talking about visually better than that right there. We're talking about $1 billion franchise, right? I said then when they showed it, they need to put that thing back in the oven, because this ain't it, right? No, over the last 2 years, for those of you guys that keep up and follow Halo, I mentioned it in a few shows. I'm hearing that there's issues with Halo. There's issues over there at in Redmond. They fired, not with 2 directors, 1 left and 1 quit. You know what I mean? And they went from using Unreal Engine 4 to using this Slip Space engine, whatever the hell they're using. First it was using Unreal Engine 4, then they went to this new engine they're using, supposed to be this open world thing, right? And a lot of people was looking for a next generation as far as leaps. But I also said, hey, this is a cross-gen game, right? But then the Xbox guys would argue me down, well, smart delivery, you can tone up. No. That game still has to be run on 1.3 teraflops, 1.32, which is the 2013 hardware. So people were looking for this great looking game graphically. No, it has to run on 1.3 teraflops of hardware. Yeah, maybe native 4K. Well, they said up to 4K 60, right? Same game, right? I said, well, I'm gonna come to that in a minute, right? Put this game back in the oven. It ain't done, right? Put the game back in the goddamn oven. This ain't it. You got one chance to get it right. I've also said on this channel, and I remember posts going back with me, that they're gonna make the multiplayer free, which they should do, because you got games like Road Company, which will be free to play, and Fortnite, and people look at Halo as that it fell off. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Take you back. I'm not coming from the days of this right here. This is heavy shit. Still have. This is the original. We may not get know what this is. This is the original Xbox, right? I even have a Halo one down at my grandmother's house, and I have a Halo 360 over there in the corner, right? Not a big Halo guy, but it is what I played it, right? That was the premier shooter, right? Halo. And I'm gonna tell you what happened to Halo even Gears. And I'm a guys, if you don't know, I'm a huge Gears of War fan. You had shooters like Duty or even Fortnite and those list of Battlefields and whatever shooter comes out. It's hard for a game like Halo to compete with that, right? Or even Destiny, right? when you're getting those games every year, and your game and your franchise coming out once every 4 to 5 years. So I can contest to this. I was just recently in a Halo 5 tournament, right? That game felt very dated to what's going on right now. So I said that they should handle that like they do with all these other games, like Destiny. Put one out a year, one out of one, and just keep adding to it, right? Make it free to play. Just keep adding content. So it can stay new, it can stay fresh, and you can attract a much younger demographic. I'm on record saying this numerous times, and this is what I heard that we're going to do. You guys know this already, right? But something, you remember Review Tech did a video maybe 2 weeks ago about a huge leak Halo, right? Hear me out. Check this out. You can mark this right here. That they got a huge leak from a confirmed source. That was an old build of Halo that we saw. Not only did they talk about Halo, they named a few SKUs, code names. Code names. Before it was called the PS4 Pro, it was called the PS4 Neo. They got these code names: Xbox Scorpio, Xbox Scarlet, Xbox Durango. Now they got the Xbox Dante. That's another SKU, right? Now you had the what came out last week, a week before last. Sony's patent that got leaked with a GPU, so they're working on new hardware, right? And they went to talking about Halo and was an old build and this, that, and the other, right? And I told, right, you guys, I'm telling you now, you don't have leaks like that. That's what you call a control leak. Let's say, hey guys, this is an early build. Just that you don't just get leaks. And I know where that leak came from. Probably most likely spoke to the same guy. I'm just gonna say that, right? You have what you call control leaks. I'm talking about things just don't come out like that. This is a $1 trillion goddamn company. So a lot of these leaks and stuff that you see, they're control leaks. Trust me. Even with the Naughty Dog stuff, a server got hacked and you saw the gameplay. No, there was reason to see what the public would say. There's no such thing as bad press. I'm telling you how this works because I know people within the industry. Now I'm not just saying, I don't do no. Listen, some of you got fuck it. I know I'm a goddamn lie. I know I lie to my wife. I lie to my children. Again. A lot of my subscribers. I know that I borrow money and pay it back. I know I ain't the most God-fearing man. But you guys know my track. The dude guys that know me personally, you know my track record when it comes to video games. I don't do no lying. I don't do no lying when it comes to video games. And I damn sure don't do no capping. I don't do no capping and cooling when it comes to
Who this nigga on that land?
You know I don't do no capping and cool when it comes to these video games. My opinion is my opinion, but when I tell you that I heard something come from Red Robert Soul, you guys know how I'm rocking. You know my track record. You know who told you about the PS4 Neo and the Xbox Scarlet about 4 or 5 months before the IGNs and the Kotaku. Just me, this very small channel here. It was I, right? But neither here or there. I'm not gonna act like Al Bundy back when anytime Al Bundy tell us his height, when he threw those 5 touchdowns passing in high school. I'm not gonna take you there. I'm not gonna do that, right? But anyway, there's no such thing like you have control leaks, right? And you had the backlash from the community. Now a lot of people expecting the next generation game, but this ain't it. So they put this is what they're saying now, right? Which I think they should do, and I said they should do this, right? This is genius. This is what you do, because you don't want to ruin. You got, how you say, you got one more chance to get it right with Halo, right? People didn't like the story. They didn't like this. They didn't like that. They don't think 343 can do it. You got one more chance to get it right. This is a $1 billion franchise, right? But it says Halo Infinite delayed to 2021 due to development challenges, right? Halo fans will have to wait until next year to play the latest installment in the story franchise. Halo will be delayed until 2021. Microsoft-owned developer 343 Studios announced today, citing development challenges including COVID. I ain't gonna lie, COVID has pushed a lot of things back. People not being able to really work, hands-on some big studios. I get that. For at least when we started really done with this COVID thing in the States, been about 3 to 4 months. So that's when everything. We haven't seen any any gameplay of Call of Duty, even the big multiplats. We have yet to see any that's going to come out. We haven't seen anything from them. I've been talking about that for the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Because I don't think both Microsoft or Sony was that great. Show me the multiplats. I've told you guys we ain't going to be playing nothing but multiplats. for the next 2 years to the install base really blows up. Sony or Microsoft, they're not going to really drop no big exclusive on day one, because we're talking about a $5 console. These exclusives take a lot to make, and also to actually the advertisement now costs more than actually making a game. And the install base is not there, but neither here or there, right? So you have the official thing, that has been delayed, right? Which is a good thing, right? No one wants a bad game. Don't set it out there like they did with Sea of Thieves, half the game, half the Kraken, or what's that goddamn game? State of Decay. You don't do this. This is the Xbox. This is the face of Halo, right? Halo is the face of Xbox. You don't sit under the way. But how about this though, right? A year from now, would we really be complaining if they say, you know what, it's not coming to current gen consoles? I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not complaining anyway. I'm getting an Xbox Series X anyway. Go ahead, Phil. Microsoft, be the behemoth you are. Apple removed the iPhone jack, removed the headphone jack. You remember that? You remember when Sony got that backlash at the Paris Week show? So Sony shows these domestic simulated women beating women games, and when they show Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human and The Last of Us 2. You remember that? Sony got such a backlash from the LGBTQ and all this other stuff, right? And women beating, domestic violence people. Sony said, you know what? This is a game made by adults for adults. So I coined the term. Microsoft, be the behemoth you are. Go out there, bitch, and pull Apple. Remove the headphone jack. Next generation only. Show us what these goddamn 12 T-flops of power can do. Put it back in the oven for a year. I mean, crank that bitch up. Crank way the fuck up. Crank them up. Let me tell you something. No one would care. The gamers would not care if that game comes out when you show it again and it looks amazing. This is how you correct this. If people with 2013 hardware can't play it, oh well. How you say, motherfuckers in hell with ice water. Motherfuckers in wheelchairs when they run in the Olympics. Everything ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? Everything ain't for everybody. Now, I'm not even talking about the gameplay. But it didn't look that great. I'm just being real. That's, the CGI part looked a little better when they first showed it. But it didn't. It didn't, my God. This is, I'm not a Halo guy. I'll be first to admit. We're expecting more. And the memes were flying. The memes. There was so many damn Craig memes. I mean, the gameplay, you know what I mean? Look, it didn't. I mean, I'm playing it in 4K. I mean, I know I'm streaming it, and, so you guys probably can't see it. It looks, but, expecting more. You know what I mean? Nah, you don't do this. This is not what you do. Now, I'm not saying that Halo is. Well, I can't say that because Halo 4 pushed the Xbox 360 to its limits. Came out the end of the generation, looked amazing graphically. I'm not a Halo guy. Halo 4 looked really good on that old hardware, on the Xbox 360 hardware. So when they showed this the first time when it was running on a very powerful PC, I voiced my concerns. Damn, we talking about it still running on 2013 hardware? Nah. Remember, Phil, with that No Gamer Left Behind shit? So when you got to talk about that No Gamer Left Behind, you get stuff like this. That's not pro-consumer. When I buy a motherfucking next generation console for $500, right? I want my face to melt. When I motherfucking buy a Lamborghini, I don't want to do the speed limit. So stop. And the most people that are most boisterous about stuff like this aren't going to buy this shit anyway. So Microsoft got to pay attention from the detractors or who's really going to support this shit, or people just motherfucking talking because they got lips. You know what I mean? You got some, even the Halo looked amazing. You got some people who are going to buy this shit regardless. You know what I mean? So we got to be real here. And again, it didn't blow us away. When they slowed this shit down, they got to looking at Craig, those character models, This ain't it. But this is a great thing. Kudos to Microsoft or Phil, whoever said, you know what? How you say it? Being the behemoth? How about this? Because I'm hearing this. Next gen only. Next gen only. Next. Yeah, look, let's see. Look, come on. We did this already. Like, I mean, that doesn't look good. I'm gonna be honest. And for those you damage control and shit, like, stop. That's what I'm talking about. When you, like, bro, sometimes we gotta get the biggest knife in the drawer and cut the bullshit out. You know, this looks like an Xbox One game, a little upscale or something. Like, this doesn't scream serious. And again, I understand it's a cross-gen game, but you're gonna get things like this when you're talking about cross-gen. Once third party, and even like this said again, like Activision and Ubisoft and those guys stop supporting old hardware, games are going to take off. Look at Red Dead and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Or even look at The Last of Us too. Later on in the generation, games start to look amazing, you know what I mean? They do, man. But at the end of the day, let me know what you think. Do you think this was a smart move by Microsoft? I think this is ingenious. So there's no reason to buy a series? It is. The multi-plat, like I said, we're always gonna play. I want the best version of 2K Duty. You know what I mean? You do have, I think, scoring the medium or Series X only. You know what I mean? You know, and again, I'm gonna do another video because I don't. Even when Sony's launch, you know what I mean? They got the Spider-Man, you know, expansion. Like, you know, I look at it as the Last of Us, Uncharted, Lost Legacy. Cool. What else they got? Sackboy. Ain't nobody won't have nothing really big for like 2 years, man. That's just because the install base is not there. But this is instead of Microsoft trying to make a quick buck, you know what I mean? This is what you do. This is what you put this bitch back in the oven. I'm trying to what I'm hearing. Next generation only. You know? Don't shoot the messenger. And show it again. Looks amazing. No one's going to question anything. People will be screaming your names from the rooftops. I'm bugging the fuck out right now. I'm bugging. No. But anyway, this is your boy Next Gen December 20. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I'm out of here.